to pass micro 1, you will have your micro 2, and micro 2 is on bacteriology and mycology. Okay? So, sana makita kayo tayo doon. Okay. When say mycology, this is the study of fungi. Fungi, singular fungus. So, fungi are eukaryotic, non-photosynthetic, filamentous, or unicellular organisms that have no chlorophyll. So this is entirely different from the previous group of organisms that we have discussed. Because basically, the previous ones are bacteria which are considered to be prokaryotic. Okay? So these are eukaryotic. Okay? So they have membrane-bound organelles, so they have nuclei as well. So this may exist in different forms. It could be filamentous or unicellular. So filamentous, ibig sabihin, they will appear as filaments, long filaments. Probably you are familiar with those of bread molds, for example, or the usual amag. Kaya nakita natin, ano? So basically, those are fungi. Fungi in filamentous forms. Although there are several fungi that may appear as unicellular as well, such as those of yeast. Are you familiar with yeast? Diba? Ano yung yeast ang alam mo? Ha? Ano ang yeast? Ay, yung pinagawa ng paggawa ng tinapay, we have our Saccharomyces, ano? Saccharomyces cerevisiae. Okay? So we have your Candida, Candida albicans, yung mga cause ng hadhad, okay, for example. Okay? So those are also unicellular yeast. Okay? So those are fungi as well. So, generally, they are strict aerobes with optimum growth temperature of around 20 to 30 degrees Celsius. So basically, lower than that of the common bacteria. No? Okay? So, different types of fungus will have different preference for temperature as well. For example, okay, those group of fungi known as dermatophytes. Okay? Dermatophytes. Okay? So they have certain preference for lower temperature. Okay? Particularly around 25 degrees Celsius, okay, for their growth. And so, ano ba yung mga dermatophytes? So these are the usual causes of your ringworm. Ringworm, ano ba yung ringworm? Buni, ano? Kasi natin, no? Buni is caused by fungus. Hindi necessarily ringworm ay helmet. Okay? Ang cause, ano? So it's caused by a fungus. So we have different types of these dermatophytes. For example, we have our microsporum, our trichophyton, epidermophyton. We'll be discussing them later, ano? So those are dermatophytes with specific preferences for the skin. Kaya nga, dermatophytes. So the skin and all its derivatives. When I say derivatives of the skin, that would include the hair, the nails, yes, what else? Okay. So the hair, the nails, ano pa? Hoof, ano pa? The horn, yan. Okay, so these are all derivatives of the skin. So even antlers of some animals are also derivatives of the skin. So again, this group of fungi would have preferences for those tissues, ano? While those organisms that are causing systemic fungal infections, they tend to reside at temperature of around 37 degrees Celsius, those close to body temperature as well. So those fungi natin are agents of systemic mycosis, meaning they are able to produce systemic infection. They can spread from the lungs to bones to muscles and other tissues of the body. Okay? So unlike our bacteria, So no endotoxins nor exotoxins are produced by the organism. Okay? No endotoxins, no exotoxins. But have you heard of the term mycotoxins? No? Mycotoxins. And the term itself, toxins produced by fungi. Okay? So, this is not part of their cell wall, like those of your gram-negative bacteria. But usually, these toxins are produced by the organism when they are exposed to unfavorable condition as well. Probably you have heard of your aflatoxins. Narinig na? Okay, so these are mycotoxins produced by certain group of fungi. For example, Aspergillus. Okay, Aspergillus parasiticus. So they're able to produce these aflatoxins. You know? Now, okay, other characteristics of fungi, basically, they're able to survive in acidic environment. Although they have optimum growth at around pH 6, close to acids, ano? They can survive in other acidic medium. That's why sabi ko dati, ano? Okay, so if you open, for example, your ketchup, and then you leave it for several weeks, perhaps, or days, outside of the refrigerator, or with several usage, sometimes you will see black discoloration, at the lip of that bottle. So basically, those are fungal growths. Diba? So most bacteria do not survive in that acidity. Okay? Except na lang kung sila ay talagang acidophile. But most of the common bacteria cannot survive on those environment. But fungi, they prefer acidic environment. Okay? So, again, so these are some of the filaments produced by our fungi. In terms of morphology, sabi natin, there are several fungi that are able to produce filaments. And these filaments are known as hypha. Okay? So, hypha are basically tube-like projections that we see, which are sometimes embedded into a particular substrate or sometimes even above the particular substrate. And a collection of hypha is known as mycelium. Okay? Plural, mycelia. So, a mycelium could be vegetative, meaning it is the nutrient-absorbing and water-exchanging portion of the fungi. So, for example, you have your bread, and you have your bread mold. So those part of the mycelium that are attached to the substrate or to the bread would be your vegetative mycelium. Okay? While the aerial mycelium are those parts that are projecting above the substrate. So sometimes you have seen, diba? They are above the substrate. So this would be your aerial mycelium. And this aerial mycelium are also responsible for bearing the fruiting bodies. Okay? Fruiting bodies of your fungi. And most of the time, it is within these fruiting bodies where the spores are located. Now, have you seen a bread, for example, with molds? O kahit minsan, yung mga taga-dorm, okay? Yung kanilang rice cooker, naiwan ng weekend, ang kanin, ano nangyayari? May mga molds, di ba? Okay? So, those parts that are attached to the rice are basically your vegetative mycelium, and those above, sometimes with colorations, are those your aerial mycelium. And sometimes, again, after several days pa, pag ginalaw nyo yan, ano mangyayari? Minsan parang may dust nalilipad. So basically, those are the spores of your fungi. Okay? So, when these fungi or fungal spores are deposited onto a suitable substrate or suitable medium, and then it will germinate into a new fungus. Diba? Kaya sometimes be very careful kasi kung mahina ang immune system, so that may develop or may germinate inside the lungs. Particularly those of, not necessarily the bread mold, but those of the Aspergillus, the Penicillium, for example. Okay? So pwede siya mag-germinate. Classification based on morphology. A mold could be, or a fungus could be in its yeast form. Yeast form. So therefore, when the fungus is on its yeast form, basically, they tend to be unicellular. Okay? So unicellular fungus. As in the case, for example, of your Saccharomyces. Have you seen Saccharomyces in the laboratory? Oh, hindi na kayo nag-start doon. Okay, first exercise. Hindi na nag-job. Okay? So basically, if you want, okay, so pwede, kumuha kayo ng yeast, okay, sa mga bakery, babad sa tubig, okay, maglagay kayo sa inyong slide, look under the microscope, okay, and you will see this unicellular organisms. Okay? So those are yeast. Now, mold on the other hand, syempre, ito na yung ating filamentous form, okay, of your fungus. However, there are certain fungi, okay, that tend to be dimorphic. When we say dimorphic, di meaning two, morph meaning form. So they will appear both as yeast and as mold. Okay? So depending on the environmental condition, okay, they may be yeast, okay, or mold. And specifically, okay, they are temperature dependent. So molds again are multicellular filamentous with branching filaments or hyphae, okay, around 2 to 10 microns in diameter. Okay, basically microscopic as well. And hyphae could have septations or cross walls, or okay, this hyphae would not have any cross walls. When they do not have any cross wall at all, then they are termed koinocytic. Okay? But when they have cross walls or septations, ibig sabihin, they are septated. So meaning to say that the hypha could be septated or non-septated. Non-septated or sometimes aseptate, ano? And the other one, septated. So when septated, the hypha would have cross walls. Okay? Naroon siya niyan. O, bigati ng aerial. So they have cross walls as well. Okay? When you say non-septated, then okay, this hypha, okay, does not have any cross walls at all. Okay, so in this case, for example, okay, this is a cross wall, so this hypha tends to be septated. In this case, it is continuous, okay, no cross walls, so non-septated or aseptate hypha. Okay? So usually, they form large fluffy colonies on laboratory media and produce aerial fruiting hyphae that bear, okay, asexual spores. Again, depending on the species, so they may also bring, okay, sexual spores as well. Yan, no? Okay? So, on laboratory medium, usually they may appear as these structures, ano? Okay, so very fluffy colonies. And depending on the species, they may vary in color as well. Okay? So, anong common nakita ninyo? Anong kulay? Ay, greenish. Ano? Ang Penicillium, for example. O kaya kulay black. Okay? Yes? Sa CR. Okay? So, medyo kulay black na. Kaya nakikita. Okay? But another characteristic of this fungus is that, okay, usually, when grown on a medium, okay, the color okay, of the reverse, okay, sabihin yung ilalim, okay, might be different, okay, from the color, okay, of these fluffy colonies. Okay? And that is very important as also in the identification, okay, of a particular fungus. Sometimes makikita mo, kulay puti. Okay? But then the reverse, kulay yellow. Okay? So again, that could also be used for the identification of the species of a particular fungus. Okay? So this could be your septated hypha. Now, yeast on the other hand are unicellular, oval, or spherical, or sometimes elongated cells about 3 to 5 microns in diameter. So they are also unicellular, just like your bacteria, but generally larger than bacteria. Okay? So larger than bacterial cell. And in fact, even the colonies, okay, of this yeast, okay, when you grow them, okay, on, okay, our laboratory medium, may appear as like that of bacterial colonies. Okay? But generally, they are larger. Okay? They produce larger colonies. So they form moist colonies and reproduce by budding or both by budding and spore formation. So as in this case, for example, kaya nga sabi dyan, they may appear oval, spherical, or elongated. Okay? Because, as in this case, for example, okay, they have the ability to form buds. Okay? That's why their mode of reproduction is basically by budding. So they tend to elongate, okay, and then a small protuberance, okay, may appear on one pole until this enlarges and become new, okay, organism. Okay, so that's by budding. Now, some of the fungal pathogens are dimorphic. Sabi mo kanina, okay, most of the time, okay, this, okay, are the agents of systemic mycosis. So fungi that are able, okay, to establish, okay, within the host and produce systemic, okay, infection. So there are yeast or yeast-like in animal tissues and when grown on enriched media. Okay? On animal tissues. Ibig sabihin, okay, when they are present within the body, for example, okay, when they are present in the lungs, then okay, they may have this yeast, okay, or yeast-like forms. But when they are grown on media, okay, and again, incubated at 25 degrees Celsius, okay, they may appear as mold. Okay? So medyo kakaiba. Kaya sabi kanina, they are temperature dependent. Okay? So if you have an infection, systemic infection, okay, you would expect, okay, that within the body, you have yeast or yeast-like forms. And if you want to isolate them, okay, grow them on a medium, laboratory medium, you should expect, okay, the mold form. So therefore, you should know, okay, the characteristic of a particular pathogen, okay, both in yeast form, okay, or on mold form. So kailangan yan, okay, for the identification. Okay? Now, in this case, for example, okay, so they may appear, okay, as large, okay, circular structure containing numerous pores. Okay? So this is basically a spirule. A spirule. Okay? Large, thick-walled circular structure containing, okay, numerous spores. Okay? In this case naman, okay, they may exist as a mold form. But in mold form, as you can see here, this is supposed to be the hypha, okay, of the organism. But they are also capable of producing spore. Okay? When these hypha fragments, usually at the level of the cross walls or septations, then that will produce the spore. A spore known as an arthrospore. Arthrospore. Arthro meaning joint. Okay? Again, when they fragment, okay, so then they will form a type of spore known as an arthrospore. Now, in terms of the structures, okay, some fungi may have capsule. Okay, just like our bacterium, they may have capsule. And this is particularly true, okay, for yeast. Okay, for certain group of fungi that exist as yeast. One typical example is Cryptococcus. Cryptococcus neoformans. Okay, so Cryptococcus neoformans, okay, is actually the only capsulated yeast. Okay, it's the only capsulated yeast producing a disease known as cryptococcosis in human and animal. Okay, so this may cause, aside from respiratory sign, neurological sign as well. Okay, so neurological sign again. Okay, so it might be just, okay, sabi natin, a yeast, but possessing a large capsule. Okay? So, Cryptococcus neoformans is an example. Of course, they do have cell wall, just like that of the bacteria, but different composition. They have cell membrane, a cytoplasm, and being eukaryotic, they do have nucleus, nuclear membrane, nucleolus, okay, and the plasma reticulum, mitochondria, vacuoles. So these are just some of the organelles present among our fungi. So the capsule, in terms of structure, just like any other capsule, which is also common among bacteria, they are made up of polysaccharide. So actually, there's only one bacterium, okay, that possesses a capsule not made of polysaccharide, but instead made up of a protein. And that is Bacillus anthracis, okay, the causative agent of anthrax. So ito lang naman yung kakaiba, no? Kakaibang bacterium, because it has capsules that are made up of made up of protein, not polysaccharide. But the rest, and even fungi, would have capsule made up of polysaccharide. So the same, its function is anti-phagocytic. Okay? Again, anti-phagocytic, so it prevents phagocytosis. What's phagocytosis? Cell eating, particularly among our macrophages, And they may also serve as a virulent factor, because most of the organisms that are virulent may possess capsule. Okay? And when a strain of that particular microorganism loses its capsule, then it tends to be non-pathogenic. So therefore, it may act as a virulent factor. Sabi nga natin, it may exist only in some fungi such as Cryptococcus neoformans, the only encapsulated yeast. In terms of cell wall, so just the same, the cell wall of fungi is antigenic in nature. Okay? That's why if you want to prepare or to make a particular vaccine against this particular type of fungus, you will need the cell wall, because that tends to be antigenic, meaning to say that it's able to stimulate an immune response. Okay? It's like antigenic, it is able to produce an immune response. In terms of the structure, so generally the cell wall is multi-layered, consisting of around 90% polysaccharide, okay, such as hexosamine polymers. Okay? Proteins and glycoproteins provide the other 10% of the entire cell wall of our fungus. So just the same, they provide shape, rigidity, strength, and protection of the fungus from osmotic shock. So these are the major polysaccharides of fungal cell wall. Hindi lang hindi lang isa, no? Okay? Some cell wall are made up of chitin, which are basically N-acetylglucosamine polymer. Some, we have chitosan, made up of D-glucosamine. Ito, mas common, ano? Cellulose, made of D-glucose. Alpha-glucan, beta-glucan, also made up of glucose. And mannan, consisting of mannose. Okay, so these are some of the components or constituent of the cell wall of fungi. And the type and amount of the polysaccharide vary from one fungal species to the other. Because in some fungi, they have a combination of these polymers. Sometimes a combination of chitin and beta-glucan. Sometimes two or more of these different polymers. The cell membrane, just like in other eukaryotic cell and even among bacterial cell, they are bilayered, consisting of phospholipids. But take note that they also have sterols on their cell wall or cell membrane that provides stability. And these sterols are made up of ergosterol and zymosterol. Medyo kaiba. Ergosterol and zymosterol. Among human and animal cells, the sterols present on the cell membrane is made up of cholesterol. Cholesterol. That's why certain antifungal agents may be directed against ergosterol or zymosterol but not on cholesterol. Kaya nga, because of that difference, yung ating therapeutic agent against fungus or fungi is said to be selectively toxic. Selectively toxic only among fungi but not on the host cell. Because of the difference in the target. In that case, ergosterol or zymosterol, but not cholesterol. In terms of functions, just the same. It may protect the cytoplasm, also regulating the intake and secretion of solutes, as well as facilitating capsule and cell wall synthesis. So just like among bacteria. And to sum it up, so these are the differences among fungi and bacteria. You know that fungi are eukaryotic, but bacteria are prokaryotic. The optimum pH for growth among fungi, napaka-acidic, from 3.8 to 5.6. But among bacteria, close to neutral pH, around 6.5 to 7.5. Again, for most bacteria, because we also have our extremes, particularly those of the archaea bacteria, in which they may settle a very acidic or very alkaline environment. The optimum temperature for growth, again for bacteria, being mesopile from 20 to 37 degrees Celsius. But then again, among fungi, sabi natin kanina, depending on the temperature, some organisms prefer 22 to 30 degrees Celsius, close to environmental temperature, and they would appear as saprophytes. Now, when they prefer temperature close to body temperature, then they are in their parasitic form. So kaya makita natin, some of these fungi are found basically in the environment, within the soil, within decaying matter. So in that form, they tend to be saprophytic. But then again, this saprophytic form, when inhaled, particularly the spores, can germinate within the body, and at that temperature, they tend to be parasitic. Kaya, wag basta baliwalain yung mga nakita nating fungi, no? Okay? Pero wag naman masyadong matakot because, okay, sabi ko nga, within this entire room, kaya there are numerous fungal spores that are circulating as well. Okay? So, palakasan na lang ng resistensya. In terms of oxygen requirement, again, depending on the bacteria, they may be anaerobic to aerobic. But among fungi, some of them could be strictly aerobic to facultatively anaerobic only. So there's no strict anaerobic among fungi. Okay? So that means almost all fungi would require oxygen for growth. In terms of light requirement, fungi being non-photosynthetic, of course, they do not require light. But among bacteria, some bacteria tends to be photosynthetic. So yun lang ang nag-require ng light. But most bacteria, particularly those of the parasitic bacteria, or those that are pathogenic to both human and animals, tend to be non-photosynthetic as well. So therefore, these photosynthetic bacteria are usually found within the environment. For example, in a pond. Okay, so they can be found on those environments. In terms of sugar concentration, so fungi may survive at relatively higher sugar or solute concentration compared with our bacteria. Diba? That's why, yung ating, for example, preserve ng mga fruits, for example, utilizing high concentration of sugar, may prevent the growth of bacterium. But it may not prevent the growth of your fungi. Okay? That's why, if you have, let's say, leche plant, for example, leche plant in the refrigerator for some time. Diba? Okay? So, hindi siya mapapanis with bacteria. Kasi bacteria cannot grow on that particular food. However, after some time, you will notice that there is fungal growth. Okay? Because they can survive at that high sugar concentration as well. In terms of carbon requirement, so again, organic, carbon, for our fungi, and for bacteria, again, depending on the bacteria, so they may use inorganic or organic substances, So therefore, our fungi tends to be chemoheterotrophic, in general. Chemoheterotrophic. Wala man tayo nakitang fungi na autotrophic. Pero meron tayong bacteria na autotrophic, particularly the photosynthetic bacteria. But fungi, they are all chemoheterotrophs. In terms of cell wall structural component, again for fungi, the cell wall is basically made up of either chitin, cellulose, or hemicellulose, or any combinations. But among bacteria, the cell wall is just made up of peptidoglycan. And of course, that would depend also on certain special bacterium in which would have an additional layer of myconic acid, for example, particularly among those mycobacterial species. Yes? Ang fungus naman is microorganism din. Sabi, nagko-convert ng? Sa sugar. No, not necessarily. So, generally, we have certain yeast that can be used for the production, example, of alcohol. Yung siguro mga conversion ng mga ganyan. From the sabi ng sugar, into an alcohol. So, yeast. So, fungus pa rin yun, mga ganun. Now, in terms of reproduction, so reproduction in fungi might be sexual or asexual. So, pwede pareho, no? So sexual spores usually results from sexual reproduction. And again, when we say sexual reproduction, there should be a fusion of two sexual spores. Mga sexual. Okay? And this fusion usually will lead to the production of a spore. Okay? So, in sexual reproduction, generally there are three phases. First, the haploid nucleus of the donor cell, it should be haploid, penetrates the cytoplasm of the recipient cell. Okay? Then, the donor cell and the recipient cell nuclei will fuse to form a diploid zygote. Yan ang sexual. So by meiosis, then this diploid nucleus gives rise to haploid nuclei, and those basically are your sexual spores. So there are different types of sexual spores. Meron tayo tinatawag na ascospore. Okay? Meron din tayong basidiospore and zygospore. Ayan, no? Masakit yan, mga spore yan, Okay? So this type of spores are all sexual spores resulting from the fusion of gametes. Tinawag lang sila ng ganyan because magkakaiba kung saan sila nakalagay. For example, among ascospore. Okay? So these spores are formed within a sac-like structure known as an ascus. Parang sac-like structure, yan. Nandiyan ang spores. So this is an ascus, and the spores are known as ascospores. Okay? Now, basidiospores. Basidiospores, these spores are usually naman formed inside a club-shaped structure, known as a basidium. Kaya, basidiospores. Okay? Now, yung isa, zygospore. Meron pa zygospore. Ito rin man, these are the spores that are formed within a special sac din. Okay? A special sac known as asporangium. Okay? Asporangium. Again, so these are the three different types of sexual spores. Parang ito lang, Okay? So, if you have your donor cell, nucleus, and we have your recipient. Okay? So, basically, the nuclei will fuse together, to form gamete via fertilization. And then after fertilization, they will undergo meiosis to produce those spores. So those spores are now the sexual spores. When these sexual spores, again, are provided with a suitable substrate, then they may tend to germinate on that particular substrate. So parang ganyan lang, although, bigyan natin, pwede rin sa kanila ang asexual reproduction. Okay. So an asexual spore is produced by individual fungus through mitosis. Okay? And subsequent cell division. So there's no fusion of nuclei of cells. Okay? So, ano ba kaiba nun? Mitosis against meiosis. O review lang. Pag mitosis, ibig sabihin, what's mitosis?
Division of cell.
Ang ating meiosis is also a division of cell. Ano ba yun?
Yung mitosis po is sa body, sa somatic cells. Tapos yung dun po sa meiosis, yung sa sexual cells. gametes.
Although kahit siya sexual cells, like after the fertilization, they would also divide via mitosis. So, difference nun.
Chromosome number. Diba yung pag mitosis po, nare-retain yung 2N. Kapag meiosis, nagiging nag-half, so N lang.
Major difference, ano? That's why when you say mitosis, that is a type of cell division involving, sabi nga niya, mostly somatic cells, resulting in the formation of offspring with the same number of chromosomes as that of the parent cell. But when you say meiosis, this is a type of cell division involving reproductive cells, resulting in the formation of gano'ng karami? Cells with half the number of chromosomes as that of the parent cell. Kaya meiotic division. So therefore, with the sexual spores, only via mitotic division. So there's no fusion of gamete. Okay? So hindi nangyayari dyan. So types, we have an arthrospore. This formed by fragmentation of septate hypha into single slightly thickened cell known as arthrospore. Nakita natin kanina, di ba? From that hypha, so it fragments. Okay, and each of those fragments will become a spore. Okay, since that spore results from fragmentation, it's known as an arthrospore. Arthro meaning parang joint. Kasi na-break from single straight kaya na hypha, na-break. Okay, parang nag-joint. Okay, so that's why it's called an arthrospore. Again, there is no sexual division. Okay, no involvement of fusion okay, of a male and female gamete. Okay? Now, chlamydospore. A thick-walled spore formed by rounding and enlargement within a hyphal segment. Parang again, okay, if this is a hypha, okay, so pwedeng okay, thickening and enlargement okay, of that part, or pwedeng thickening and enlargement of the tip okay, of the hypha. Okay, that is a spore. Okay, and that spore, okay, again, is able okay, to germinate. A sporangiospore is an asexual spore formed within a sac at the end of aerial hypha. Again, ito ating aerial hypha. Okay, pwede rin siya, sabi dyan, no? Mag-form ng sac, and within the sac, okay, you have your spores. So these spores are formed via mitotic division only. Okay? Conidiospore, so unicellular, multicellular spore that is not enclosed in a sac but are produced in chain at the end of a conidiospore. Okay? So pag okay, this case, for example, okay, there's an enlargement at the tip, then, yan. So these spores are not enclosed in a sac. Okay? So this are conidiospore. And again, we have blastospore, which consists of a bud coming off from a parent. So that bud itself is a blastospore. So tayo dito. Yan. Then ano? Arthrospores formed by fragmentation of septated hypha. Meaning to say, if you have an aseptate hypha, there will be impossible to produce an arthrospore. Okay? So again, a sexual, thick-walled spores formed by hyphal septation, and arthrospores are released only via fragmentation. Now, for most fungi that are able to produce arthrospores, it is not necessary that every segment would have a spore. Okay? Usually, this is alternating. A spores, a vacant space, spore, vacant space, spore. Okay? Yan. Okay, for most arthrospores. Chlamydospore, sabi natin, is a thick, double-walled spore spore, resistant asexual spores that form as an enlargement within or at the tip of the hypa. As in this case, this is found at the tip of the hypa. So therefore, this is a terminal chlamydospore. Now, okay, in other cases, hindi masyado, no? Okay. In other cases, as in this case, for example, this is not found at the tip, okay, but within the hypa. So therefore, this is a form of an intercalary chlamydospore. Okay? So, terminal chlamydospore, intercalary chlamydospore. So, often form under specific nutritional conditions where other spores do not form. So, yan, pwede yan. So, there's certain species, like for example, we have our Trichophyton. So, Trichophyton species are able to produce this type of spores. So, sporangia, singular sporangium, is a spherical sac within which asexual spores formed by progressive cytoplasmic cleavage or mitotic division. Okay, so these spores result from mitotic division. So take note that the sac is known as a sporangium. The spore is known as sporangiospore. So take note that they have this particular stalk. The stalk is known as sporangiopore. Okay? Ano ang pangalan, ano? Sporangiopore refers to this stalk. The sporangium is the sac, and the spore is sporangiospore. Okay? So, typical example, we have our mucor or rhizopus. Have you heard of this particular fungus? Okay? Dati kasi meron tayong, yung Ripley's Believe It or Not, sino nakaabot nun? Sa show na yun? Ripley's Believe It or Not? Hindi raw. Okay, so there's an episode there in which meron certain flesh-eating fungus. Okay? And it was found out that this belongs to a strain of this mucor. Okay? Pero the same mucor that can also be found on our bread. For example, the usual bread mold. O kaya, kahit doon sa ating mga onion, for example. Okay? Di ba? Minsan may itim na ano yun. Okay? So those are also fungus. Okay? So yan, mucor. We also have conidiospore. Ito naman, an asexual spore borne externally, okay, on hyphae on a conidiopore. And again, conidiopore is a stalk. Okay? So it may be unicellular, okay, or multicellular. But unicellular, microconidia. Pag multicellular, usually it is a macroconidia. Okay, and that conidium would contain numerous spores. Okay, a conidiospore is the specialized hyperstalk on which the conidia develop either singly or in clusters. Now, saan natin nakikita usually ito? Okay, for example, as in this case. Ano kaya ito? Diyan. Okay? So usually, no, not mushroom. Okay, meron siyang, at the end of a conidiospore, for example, there is a specialized enlargement known as a vesicle. And from this vesicle, meron tayong finger-like structure known as a phyalide. Okay? And from this phyalide, are chain of spores. Yun na yun. Chain of spores. So externally, okay? Ayan. And these spores are known as conidiospore. Okay? So pwede yan. Okay? So, ito, usually nakita natin sa mga familiar kayo with penicillium. Okay? With our aspergillus. As in this case, for example, this is an aspergillus organism. Kasi yung ating penicillium, okay, they're also able to produce our conidiospore, but then again, medyo kakaiba. Parang broom-like structure, but still, the conidiospore are found at the tip and external. Okay, so these are also phyalides, and these are your conidiospore. So again, in terms of the parts, we have our conidiospore, we have our phyalides, we have our conidiospore. Okay, so this is penicillium, and ito isa aspergillus. Okay, so familiar na kayo with those type of fungi. And a blastospore consists of a bud coming up from the parent cell. So this particular bud in itself is a spore. Okay, a blastospore. So most of the time, this blastospore, are product of yeast cells. Okay, these are product of yeast cells. Okay, now sabi natin, this could be elongated. Okay, it could be elongated. That sometimes it can be mistaken for a hypa. Okay, but since in reality, this yeast does not form any hypa at all. So those elongated structures, for example, are known as pseudohypa. So pseudohypa. Kasi hindi naman talaga siya hypa. Okay? Okay. Taxonomic classification. Okay? So this depends on the type of a sexual spore. Okay? Of course, ating fungi, meron tayong mga phylum. Okay? There are several phyla of fungi. And each of these phyla should end in mycota. Okay? So that would be the suffix of a phylum. A class, the suffix is Mycetes. Order, Ales, family, Cresseae. Okay? So for example, alam niyo fungus. Okay? Deuteromycota. Okay? For example, so that would be the phylum of a special group of fungus. Okay. In this case, for example, we have these different classes. Okay. Sabi natin, that would be dependent on the type of spores that they are producing. Zygospore. Okay? So, a certain group of fungi, from the class Zygomycetes, are those that are producing our zygospore. Ang mga example ng ating mga zygospore. Yan yung mga common bread mold, for example. They belong to class Zygomycetes. Okay? Yung sinasabi natin kanina, mga mucor, Rhizopus, they also belong to the class Zygomycetes. Okay? Their spores are known as zygospore. Our Basidiospore, ito naman, from the class Basidiomycetes. Basidiomycetes. So, ito naman yung ating mga mushroom. The common mushroom, the edible mushroom, for example, would belong to this group. Phylum Basidiomycota, class Basidiomycetes. Ito ba mga common fungi natin? The toadstool, for example. Ano yung toadstool? Yung parang tengang daga. kay ng mga fungus. Okay, so those belong kay to kay Phydo, kay Basidium mycota as well. And ascospore kay from ito sa ating mga Ascomycetes, class Ascomycetes. Okay, so are you familiar with ito, mga Capfungus? Capfungus, ito mga ganito. Okay, so this Capfungus, they belong to the class Ascomycetes. Okay, because they are able to produce this club shape na ba yan? Pointed structures known as an ascus. So within the ascus, so nandyan yung kanilang mga spores. However, there is a group of fungus without any sexual spore. Meaning to say that they only reproduce asexually. And since they do not have sexual spore, they are called fungi imperfecti. Okay? Those belonging to the class Deuteromycetes. Okay? So actually, so most of the pathogenic fungi that are able to infect both human and animal, most of them would belong to this class, Deuteromycetes. That's why this is of medical and veterinary importance. Okay? Kasi, for example, itong mga bread bones, hindi naman siya masyado of veterinary importance. Okay? Pero ito, fungi imperfecti, so ito mayroong importance sa atin. Okay? So, certain differentiations of these different fungi, veterinary importance, again, among the fungi imperfecti, they have septated hypha without any sexual state. Okay? They are producing different types of asexual spores, ranging from conidia, arthrospores, chlamydospores, blastospores. Since they do not have any sexual state, there is no sexual spores. Typical example, Candida, Cryptococcus. So Candida, Cryptococcus, so these are yeast. Okay? Microsporum, Trichophyton. Okay, so these are dermatophytes. Okay, with certain affinity for the skin. Aspergillus and Penicillium. Okay, so basically, these are agents that sabihin natin are only capable of causing disease when the immune response of the host is altered or is down. Okay? Kaya nga, they are called opportunistic fungi. Although siguro familiar kayo because some of these fungi are actually capable of producing antibiotics. Okay? Remember yung Penicillium notatum? Okay? So yun din, ano? So maraming gamit. That's why they are also of veterinary importance, not because they are able to cause disease, but they are also able to produce substances which are important medically. Okay? Ascomycetes, they have septated hypha, with sexual state, producing again a different type of spores, but particularly an ascospore as their sexual spore. Okay? In the common dyan, we have our Saccharomyces and Claviceps. So Claviceps, so Claviceps purpurea in particular, so this is able to secrete a special group of mycotoxin known as an ergot. For ergotism. Okay, so when ingested, so they may cause gangrene, particularly of the extremities. Basidiomycetes can have septated hypha with sexual state, particularly with those basidiospores. So pwede natin nagdating dito kung ang ating candida can be considered also. But Zycomycetes, take note that this group does not have any septation on their hypha. So this is the only group of fungi which are aseptic. No? They do have sexual and asexual spores. And typical example, we have our Mucor and our Rhizopus species. Okay, so just like, mga typical example na yun. Okay. So, dito na tayo. Okay, classification okay, of fungal infection. On the break na. Sige, 2-minute break.